Hello everybody, this is a video number 3 about the construction of this model of skid steer loader. In this video I will show you the assembly of the cabin, the tailgate, and I will also show how to make a light model based on Arduino Micro, which will give us the ability to turn on lights on the cabin and the tailgate using a switch on the transmitter. The model also reads the signal from the truck's control channels, and when the model is moving backwards, the model turns on the white LEDs on the tailgate. So let's get started. And it's time to start works on cab. I have already installed the seat and these side hooks, and now I want to install LEDs. It's much easier to do now because before Windows installation. For the full soldering LEDs I will use this template that repeat inner part of a cab LEDs positions. But before doing it, I calibrate holes diameter with 5mm drill bit. I will use this hammer for light module, therefore I am welding all LEDs for cab in parallel connection. To make a parallel connection you must solder anodes to anodes, cathodes to cathodes. In my video I placed the anodes on the outer side of the pads. Recommendation for soldering LEDs. You have to solder them with quick short touches of the soldering iron, otherwise you can overheat the LED's crystal and this can lead to the LED not shining at the full brightness or completely stop working. That's why in the video I bent legs of the LEDs and leave them as long as possible. This gives me opportunity to solder them away from the crystal, and it reduces the risk of overheating the crystal. Now I coat the contacts with soldering acid. It helps to solder pads better. Now I'm trying to figure out how long the wire I need to connect the LEDs to the light module, which will be located at the back of the model. I soldered the wires to the LEDs and soldered another side, and before installation to cab I check that they work good. When you test your LEDs, don't forget about the 100 ohms resistors, otherwise you'll just burn your LEDs. Okay, everything fine. Well, I tried to glue wires to hold them, but it's not working good. Therefore, I just weld them with piece of filament. Well, it's enough. And same thing on another side. Here I solder 100 ohms resistor onto the wires and combine the two wires into one. Here I soldered a connector to the end of the wire, but later I installed another type of connector behind the sensor, so don't be surprised when you will see it in a few minutes later. The LEDs are installed on the cabin, and now it's time to move on to installing the windows and protective grills. I mistakenly bought acrylic sheets that were too small to make the side windows in one piece, so I decided to make templates using a masking tape and cut the windows out of the pieces. key, the windows and guards are installed, and the last step I have with the cab is to install the handrails on the front. You can easily make these handrails from a piece of filament. You need to heat the filament and bend it using a template, which you can find in folders with helper spots. At this point I finished assembling the cabin for my model, but you can also install the front door, which was added in one of the updates. At some stage of the work I added logos to the side of the model. These logos were made by one of the members of my Facebook group. You can find these details on his page and AN3D website. I also painted the tailgate and added my own logo to it, and now I want to make glass for rear lamps from reflector for bicycle wheels. But you can try to print these parts from transparent filament or print them on resin printer. And now I'm starting to install LEDs in the tailgate. I prepared a small fragment of the board for prototyping for easy soldering of elements, but you can simply solder the parts in the air. According to this diagram, I will solder the red LEDs in the serial connection and the white LEDs in parallel connection and add a 100 ohms resistor to them. For ease of identification, I place the anodes closer to the outer side. And for the left side I made same model, I only mirrored. And now the connection order look like this. I like to use this wire bus as donor for cables for connecting LEDs. I can take as many wires as I need and in the lengths that I need. To connect the tailgate LEDs I cut the 2 wire and 3 wire cables from the bus with approximate length of 320 mm. To connect the white LEDs I will use a 3-core cable. The middle wire will be the common negative, and the side wires will be the plus for the different pairs of LEDs. I use a head shrinking tubing to protect the thin wires. and this completes the work on tailgate. And the next step is to create a light module. I will use this Arduino microboard. This board allows me to read up to 4 channels from the receiver, and as I said at the beginning of this video, I will use 3 of them. I have already placed all the LEDs in their places, and now I'm trying to figure out how to make control board for them. On the control board I need to place the Arduino Micro, 3 connectors that will allow me to connect this board to the receiver, 3 connectors that will allow me to connect LEDs to this board, and also transistor and resistor that will allow me to control turning the LEDs on and off. And here I forgot to drive a wire that will connect this leg of the transistor to the ground. Therefore, when I turned it on the control board for the first time, the LEDs did not work. Well, the soldering of the light module is finished. Almost. Remember I said that I forgot to draw the wire that leads from the source pin on the transistor to the ground pin of the Arduino board. Here is how I wrote it. And now all that remains is to attach the board to the model and connect it to receiver. I have already soldered some plastic in this place and made 2 holes with a diameter of 1.5 mm. The board will be installed like this and will be screwed in place using a pair of M2 screws. And before installation I need to drill holes in the board using a 2 mm drill bit. I used 2 Y connectors to connect the board in parallel with truck's control channels. I use the empty channel on receiver to turn the lights on and off. And now all you have to do is write the code into Arduino board. There are a lot of video tutorials on YouTube how to do this, so I don't focus on that. You will find the necessary code for Arduino IDE in the archive with the model files. I just want to focus your attention on one point. Here in the code there is 2 options on how to control the white LEDs on the tailgate. You need to uncomment the option you need and comment one that you do not need, and just upload the code to Arduino board. And this is the final version of how I connected the wires from the LEDs to the board. I also added this bracket to hold the switches from the light module and additional channel. You can find the STL file for this holder in the folder with the helper paths. And this is the final stage of construction of this model. Thank you for watching all these 3 videos about construction of this model. You will find links to download files for this model in the description under this video. Subscribe to this channel to see new models in future, and good luck in building your own skid steer loader.